Hello, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I just want to say, first of all, thank you to all the new subscribers. I really appreciate it. Content that I'm making lately, commentary style, and covering the 8 passengers case for any reason to gain any sort of monetary gain. I am a tiny blip of a creator and I am not monetized. I do not make any money. I enjoy research, learning the truth about topics. And from what I've learned, I'm super happy that I jumped in to commentate on this in particular, because I've been talking about family vloggers for just here and there a little bit and like my own personal battle, sharing my life online. And then I've been wanting to talk about other things, but I just didn't know what to talk about. Nothing triggered in me, but this did, because like I shared before, Ellie and Jared are people that I watched in 2017. Like, my trying to conceive journey is such a big part of my life, and I watched them at the beginning of my trying to conceive journey. And so for me, this really hits home also because, like I said, of my upbringing. Obviously it was not to the extreme at all about this, but I know what it's like to not eat, all these different things. Okay. So yes, that's why I'm talking about it. And I want to also start this video by saying that I do not mean any ill intent to anybody. And number one, the only thing that matters here is the truth and are the children. So everyone's saying that the children are safe, and that is the hope. So while the family, the sisters have come out, and one of Ruby's daughters have come out and said that the children are safe, if they are in DCFS care, it is not a guarantee that they are safe. It is a hope that they are safe. And I'm not trying to be cynical, but that's the reality of it. If you look at the Turbin case, there was bad stuff that happened there with their foster home. So let's just, yes, of course, hope that they are safe. But I think that the advocacy for them needs to continue. And Josh mentioned something really great on his last video that he did, his last live, where he said this thing should be blown up. So a lot of people are mad that creators are talking about it. I think certain creators are jumping on and not actually doing research. They're just like reading an article or something, which sure is fine. But like, if you're a commentary channel, if you're someone who talks about issues, you should be really doing your due diligence and fully researching a topic before talking about it so that you are factual. So I'm getting attacked, not me personally, but the content I'm sharing is getting attacked online because people are saying it's false, which that's what this video is about, is that it's not false. And I'm going to prove to you even more so. I've done a lot of proofing, but I wanted to show the narrative that's being spun. And I'm so confused why this is even happening. I have my suspicions and my assumptions on why it's happening. And it's unfortunate because it's really taking away from the case, and everyone should just be banding together to get the truth out, because like Josh said in one of his videos recently, is like, there should be people talking about it so that it goes worldwide. It has gone worldwide, thank goodness, but to keep talking about it. Someone else was upset that I made a connection between the Lori Vallow case, but I said, if people are talking about Lori Vallow, as you'll see actually in the screen recording, her case is like right below there. It's like making sure that these people are held accountable, that we don't forget, and we don't forget about the victims, So just be a truth seeker, okay? For true truth. I'm not someone who really follows the crowd. I do to an extent, like I get along with people, but I am someone who's kind of always been the person on a different path in terms of the question asker. So in school, I was always a question asker. My grandma, she had told me when I was like 3 years old, ever since I could talk, I've always asked questions. What's that? What's that? Why does that do that? That's my mind. That's how my mind works. So I'm sorry that this intro is so long, but I'm feeling the need to do this because I have new followers and because I've had more views. People don't know me, and they assume I have ill intent. I do not have ill intent. I have true passion behind this, and I have never claimed to be an 8 passengers expert. I have said multiple times that I am not an 8 passengers expert. Go find the creators who are, if that is what you want to see. But if you want to see a different take, then watch my content or watch a lot of content, because it's good to have a well-rounded view. Like, I've watched other videos of creators now covering this topic, which is why I'm talking even more about it now. So it doesn't mean all my content is going to be 8 passengers. It definitely won't be. I'm still going to do my stay-at-home mom comedy, and I want to do commentary on other YouTube moms and other family vloggers. That is my hope. And I don't want to be someone who bashes anybody, because that's just not me. I'm not going to pick on people, but I'm just going to call out bullshit when I see it. So that's what I'm going to do. So if that's something you like, then stick around. And if that's not something you don't like, that's totally cool. You don't have to like me or anything I talk about. I am not claiming to be, I'm not self-righteous like I've been called. It's just so insane. Why don't these people who say that look at these creators who aren't doing their due diligence? And then getting to this overall thing is look at the damn Reddit, okay? They're spewing so much false information. So let's kind of get into it a little bit more. Okay, if it looks different, my battery died already, so I had to change it. Okay, so getting into the meat, the juice of all this, this video is that if you have been on YouTube, you have seen everyone talking about the case, of course. If you've been on TikTok, you have definitely seen my audios, and I call them my audios because the initial audio that came out, someone leaked it, and then everybody took it and then put their own like image on it. On my first audio, I actually paid for it on the Broadcastify website. I can link everything below. I paid for it myself. It was $15 US for 180 days of a membership. And that's in US and I'm Canadian and inflation sucks right now. I don't have the extra money for this, but I did it because I wanted to do my due diligence and not trust another source that someone else clipped together and then use that. So that was my first video. My second video that revealed the panic or safe room was from Dispatch, and I listened to that audio that I shared. I had previously told someone, I think people like online were responding to comments, that I had gotten that footage over like an hour and a half of audio, but when I went back and looked, it was actually 2 hours. So it was from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. So the initial call on the Broadcastify website was, everything's in half an hour chunks that they upload, and it's consistent. It's in chronological order. The call that Russell had made, sorry, I said I wasn't going to mention names, but I will have to mention just the main name that's been mentioned before. His call that got made from his neighbor, one of his neighbors, was approximately 10:50, but it was actually around like 10:40. So the audio recording was from 10:30 to 11 o'clock, and that was the one that it was on there. And then it wasn't until 2 o'clock that then the audio took place that I shared in my video, and that got a lot of hate and everyone's calling it false. The Reddit thread is attacking it. Then Josh did a video, which brought a lot of people, a lot of you who are maybe watching this came from Josh's channel. He reacted and then like redacted his view on it. And I can put a screenshot because I have a screenshot of that. And then later on, hours later, when people said like, no, he then said that the Reddit was baloney, because it's really important to do your due diligence. So then it's interesting is, of course, content is being suggested to me now on YouTube regarding this, right? It wasn't before, but now it is. I came across a channel. So let me grab my phone here. On my suggested last night or yesterday, as I was filming this, by Jordan and McKay. So I learned from another suggested video that actually came to me this morning is that they are really well versed in the 8 Passengers family, and they are ex-Mormons or are Mormons, I don't know. So I will never attack the Mormon religion because that is not, I do not believe that you can umbrella term something to all people within that group of people. So I won't do that. And as I'm talking about them, because I'm sharing content from their website, from their YouTube here, screen recordings, is that I'm not meaning any ill towards them. I don't know about them other than what I just said that I saw on another YouTube video today that was shared. But I am only going to bring light to, not just attack, but I'm probably going to get heated, bring light to the fact that they are bold-faced lying. And I don't know what the motive is here, other than that their source is actually either a family member or someone who knows the family really well. It sounds like it's a family member based on the Reddit. So it's just messed up. So also in this recording, I have decided to keep in the part that they got correct. So showing what they say in the YouTube video per the audio from Broadcastify's website that I downloaded and recorded myself. So I'm going to splice it in and I'm going to react to it as I want to. May not react to everything or commentate on it, but I wanted to show that they did get some things right. So I'm not just making this video maliciously to say, oh, look at everything they got wrong and how terrible are they. No, I just want you to see that they did some good stuff, but the big bulk of it, they freaking dismiss, and I'm fudging freaking pissed about it because it's awful and it's spinning a false narrative, and I don't get the point of that. I do not get the point of it. It's not meaning ill towards the children by revealing that, okay? it's showing the severity of the crimes and to get attention on this so that it brings light to family vlogging. This is what I didn't say earlier, but what Josh was saying is that it brings light to family vlogging and to say this shit has to stop. Okay, let's do this.
Was rushing to put this together, so
I was.
She did get other ones, so.
Son showed up with tape around his legs and thirsty. So this is the reporting party, said this to dispatch. And asking for help, afraid of asking for police.
Yeah, boy, this will be at 1961 North Uwan Drive, where he said a 12-year-old male showed up with tape around his legs, thirsty, asking for help, said he was afraid asking for police.
And then there's, weird dispatch things being said. And then dispatch says again, he gave his name, unknown date of birth, or he did give a date of birth, but I'm not sure how many, something unintelligible. I'll keep looking into that. And the reporting party said.
So some of the stuff that's like something unintelligible is like 10-4 over, and then they're also discussing there's not cases going on, and maybe it's called a case, but in my assumption it's not a case, it's like traffic stops and other stuff like that. I responded to someone's comment, I think on my channel here, about like what it actually is. So anyways, this is getting to it. It's long.
He left through the porch of the neighbor's house.
Deborah, he gave the name of Russell Frankie, unknown date of birth, or he did give us the date of birth, but I'm not showing any Russells and Spillman. I'll keep looking into that. The RP said he left through the porch of the neighbor's house.
Party said he left through the porch of the neighbor's house. And then dispatch says again, he does have dark tape around each ankle. He's not telling the reporting party why, and said there is sores around his wrists and ankles.
17 just 1014, the male does have dark tape around each ankle. He's not telling the RP why, and said that there's sores around his wrists and ankles. The RP is becoming emotional regarding the child's health. I'm going to go.
So something that came out about this is that people thought it was the officer, and that's initially what I thought as well, but the RP is someone who called 911. So the person who's calling, the neighbor that is calling, is getting emotional. So I don't know if I blocked out the addresses, but I didn't put the person who reported what was happening, called for Russell. I didn't put that person, their address on, just the drive, which is off of Jody's drive. So that's like known information.
Have medical stage on this one.
He's becoming something. The reporting party is becoming emotional regarding the child's health. And so the neighbor that was there with him was like getting upset because of his condition. And then dispatch says, I'm going to go ahead and have medical check on this one. Officer confirmed. Dispatch, the reporting party said he left from neighbors. Jody Hildebrandt, redacted private confidential.
17, sorry. The RP said that he left from a neighbor's Jody Hildebrandt. I'm showing one in Spillman 854 Tagu in Ivans, 54-year-old female.
Info, 54-year-old female, not sure if they are related. When asking the reporting party, he said his mom is Ruby Frankie, unknown where she lives.
Not sure if they're related. When asking the RP's parents, it's always said his mom is Ruby Frankie, unknown where she lives.
Dispatch says, and do you have a Ruby Frankie spelling with an E on the end of Ruby or at the E of Frankie? Address is said. Only involvement was a traffic offense a couple days ago. Officer copy. And I will talk about that traffic violation.
I don't keep that in here. I'm not having that on.
12X11, 12X17. I do have a Ruby Frankie spelling with an E on the end of Frankie. Address out of Springville. Only involvement was a traffic offense a couple days ago.
Dispatch, he's also saying there are two sisters back home as well.
He's also saying that there's two of his sisters are back at the home as well.
Okay, so pause on that. There's been information coming out about kids at the Springville home. So there's Jody's home in Ivans, and then there's the Springville home, which is the family home that they shared with Kevin. And I don't know if Kevin was living there at the time after Ruby moved out, but if Russell was the one who fled and there's two sisters there, then where was the fourth child? So that's not known yet, I don't think. I haven't fully looked into it. Like I said, I'm a mom with kids, and I've been up until like 3, 4. Last night I was up till 4 in the morning editing this.
Officer, do you have an address for that Jody? Address is redacted. More dispatch talk. Officers are directed to which home it is.
Do you have an address for that, Jody?
Tampa 854 Tagu Circle or Tagu Drive.
Dispatch says reporting party and the boy are going to be sitting on the front porch. No visible weapons. The male is wearing a long sleeve t-shirt and shorts and medical 23 as well.
Looking out the front, go left. It's going to be your first house on Tagu Court on the right.
Copy that. Thank you.
RP and the Juve are going to be sitting out on the front porch. No visible weapons. The male is currently wearing a long sleeve and shorts. And medical's 23 as well.
Dispatch said if mom really is Ruby, another unintelligible dispatch information. Officer, does she have an address in Springville? Dispatch says per her Facebook.
Dispatch is looking at Facebook.
Okay,
Her and Jody
Oh
both
my
are
God.
therapists. The addresses for their work are up in Salt Lake as well.
After doing a little digging, it looks like that 27 I sent you for Ruby Frankie is going to be the one that is associated with the Jody Hildebrand. They're both showing as therapists from Salt Lake and associated through social media as well.
How crazy, right? Like, okay, this is where it gets fucking so stupid. So why would they lie about something like that? So the person doing this podcast that I am reacting to or commentating on, they transcribed this so that you, the viewer, won't have to listen to it, right? That's what their like reasoning is behind it. But they didn't even transcribe it properly. They said that they knew each other on Facebook. They didn't know each other on Facebook. I mean, maybe they did, but what the dispatch actually said was social media. So the thing you have to take into consideration is these people are also on the Reddit. So if the Reddit is saying that the panic room and safe room information is false, look at what they did. They lied about something so minuscule, like they were connected on Facebook or whatever, but it was actually the words social media. There's a couple of situations that happen like that. Besides leaving out the part about the safe/panic room, there's another situation with the car and the Lexus of Jody's and the police officer that they completely get it wrong, even though it's right there and obviously you'll have to listen closely because I don't know if I'm not gonna put subtitles on this video. And they also say, we'll get into it, so I'll just press play.
Not apply, that kind of got filtered out. And then dispatch says, I think I may have found dad, a Kevin Frankie address out of Springville.
12x11, I think I may have found dad, also a Kevin Frankie address out of Springville.
Officer says, talking to somebody else who's not dispatch, come in and come upstairs. She's in the bathroom. We don't know which person this is. We don't.
Okay, so they said that come in and come upstairs. She's in the bathroom. Listen to the audio clip that I'm playing next with that. That is not what is said. It says it's a business, so come on in and then come upstairs. It says it's a business, okay? So this is not from this call. This is from a different call. But they're claiming it's from the Ruby and Jody case.
know if it's Jody. We don't know if it's the other kid. Like, we don't know.
No, it's a business, so just come in and come upstairs. She's in the bathroom.
And that person who said copy, because he's talking to another police officer, is a female. All the ones that have responded to the call for Ruby and Jody's residence in Ivans were all male officers on the dispatch. The dispatch taker person was female in all the calls, but they were all male cops who went. Besides, the one who ended up taking Jody into the station was a female. Okay? So that shows right there that what these podcasters are saying is completely false. Okay? This is false. They can't even listen to a freaking audio and get it right. Okay? So please know that I am doing my due diligence here. And the fact that I'm sharing this and sharing this long ass video with you guys is to show you and prove my authenticity. Okay? I'm being honest here. Okay? Let's continue.
Dispatch says, run also a vehicle search on Jody. She's showing a white Lexus sedan with redacted info about her vehicle.
Control 12, 17. Can I get a confirmation on the house on Plaza.
Step our 854, again 854, Tagu.
10-4.
Just step 49 did a run also a vehicle search on Jody. She's showing a white Lexus ES sedan, 28 of Charlie.
And then the officer says we're going to pull up next on the road. Then the officer says, can you hold there while we're searching the house? And then other stuff is said.
12X1711, that's going to be there. We're the one that pulled up next to me on the road.
10-4.
Okay, did you catch that? Did you catch it? I'm going to rewind it so you can hear it again, okay? He didn't say that what this podcaster is saying. Just listen.
We're going to pull up next on the road.
She said, we're going to pull up next on the road. That's not what that cop said. That's not what the cop said. Just listen to what the cop said, okay?
And the officer says, can you hold there while we're searching the house? And then other stuff is said.
12X1711, that's going to be there. We're the one that pulled up next to me on the road.
10-4.
Control 12X11, can you hold there? We're searching the house.
12X11, different. I'll use the channels clear for emergency traffic control quick.
So those are the three audios. The other audio.
So what this person is saying is that they said if you can hold right there, but what they said is hold the air because they were searching the residence, and if there was a weapon related incident, they would need it clear so that they can get back up. Okay. And so they said emergency response, like whatever. For me, I see that as that they're saying only for like actual emergencies on here, or because we need an emergency response potentially at this residence, which is Jody's house. So take that with what you will. If you're someone who believes these people that I am commentating on, that's unfortunate, but I am not the 100% factual person. I'm not saying I'm the most best person ever. This is all alleged, but I'm reacting to the fact of just comparing what they're saying to the audio, and it's not correct. So let's continue.
Control 12X11, you're clear to open here.
12X11, different 1155 break. I'll use the channels open for normal traffic control quick.
Have time to transcribe. That was also brought up. The biggest thing that came out of that was Ruby attempted to go to the hospital to see.
Okay, so the rest of it, I'm not really going to commentate on, just because it's going to be very obvious what they get wrong. Just listen closely to the audio if you're unsure of what is being said. I may put subtitles on. If I don't put subtitles, you're going to have to go back to my other video where I share the full thing. But if you see a lot of dead air and other things like chatter not related to the case, because I'm trying to prove that I didn't skip anything in the audio because it starts in a brand new audio. And that was the one that went from 3:30 to 4. It starts in a brand new audio. Or no, wait. 2:30 to 3. No. Yeah. One at that time. Just that little slight discrepancy there, but that's where it started, and so that means they didn't click on the link to do in succession the next audio. So I'll put it on the screen, so I'll stop commenting on it, and then I'll come back after we're done kind of watching it together.
The kids. So
because Ruby wasn't there at that time, she was en route.
She was on the way to the house.
Control 12X3.
12X3.
On this case that we're working, we have the custodial parent of the child in the ER. She just came to our PD and then she took off when we said cops will talk to her in a second. So we're hoping maybe someone can go to the cop at the ER can restrict access from her to her kids. That's something you can relay to them. Her name is Ruby and her name should be in CAD comments.
10-4, just confirming this needs to be relayed to 12X9, who I'm showing at St. George Regional or at the St. George officer who's there.
The St. George officer that's there.
10-4.
He's on scene. We're executing search warrant.
So the theory is that the child got out And the theory is that Jody was driving around looking for him and contacted Ruby, which is why Ruby was coming down to Ivan's. And once law enforcement, like Jody must have seen that law enforcement was like pulling up or in the area, and she told Ruby, and then Ruby went to try to get to the hospital. That's better.
I could see that, honestly.
That makes the most sense in my head. Again, we're just trying to put pieces together. But Ruby went to the hospital, and the hospital, I guess, contacted law enforcement. And law enforcement says, no, she's not allowed to see them. Keep her out.
On this case that we're working, we have the custodial parent of the child in the ER. She just came to our PD and then she took off when we said cops will talk to her in a second. So we're hoping maybe someone can go to the cop at the ER can restrict access from her to her kids. That's something you can relay to them.
And so she wasn't able, based on the dispatch audio, the pieces that we do have, she apparently wasn't able to get to them. So those are the three parts of the police audio and then the other one. And so that's why I didn't want to play them for you guys, just so we have an easier time.
Yeah. There was also, I think this is where you need to bring up the thing that we got wrong.
Hallman, you copy?
Go Hallman. 2 Delta 14, go ahead.
5 Golf, 3 November.
Red 2005 Ford F-150, 2 aren't showing as of today.
Copy, thank you.
26 Alpha 12, control 1036.
Code 4.
Copy 1205.
Control 4 to 28 vehicles tag 1024.
10 Alpha, control 1036.
Control 1 Alpha today.
Control Sierra
7, go ahead.
8 Hotel 7.
10 for standby.
Hey LT, there's a panic room inside the garage. Downstairs underneath the garage.
Yeah, where's the access through?
Mark 32, 1036.
Code 4.
Copy 665136.
Code 4 there.
Copy. Sierra 11, 1997 Chevy K1500 to St. George, expiration 4/2024, insurance showing as of today.
Have a nice. Control 26 Alpha 12.
Go ahead.
You create a property damage incident in the Burns Arena parking lot.
Half is through the safe door, the Liberty safe.
Yeah, he says it's downstairs and it's underneath one of the garages, and he's calling it a safe room. He said something about Fort Knox, so I don't know if it has a Fort Knox door or safe on it, but that's what he's talking about.
Temple, we've got it, but we can't get into it.
My guess is that would be where they're at. He says it's a large room, it's a panic room.
This one says Liberty Safe Company. It's got a big wheel on the front.
So that's why I didn't want to play them for you guys, just so we have an easier time.
Yeah. There was also, I think this is where you need to bring up the thing that we got wrong the other day.
What thing?
The garage, the safe room. Did we talk that?
I already brought it up.
Oh, we already brought that? Sorry, I've been watching chat and trying to fix stuff, so.
Okay, so driving infraction.
Okay, so I share all that to say that at that part with the thing about like the hospital thing. They even got that wrong. She didn't show up at the hospital. She showed up at the police department, PD's police department, and he was relaying it to the officer at the hospital to dispatch should tell the officer at the hospital, like, hey, don't let her in if she shows up here. But she didn't. She went straight home. So all my audios are in succession. She went home. She got arrested or detained, more likely detained, by 3:45. So yes, her arrest report says 9:33, but that's when she got taken in to the prison, right? Or the jail cell, whatever it is, right? But the audio tells something different. So in my personal opinion here, this is not factual, this is just my opinion, all alleged. I feel like these people have some weird narrative. They have some skin in the game. They're friends with the 8 passengers family. Something's fudged up here, guys. Something is weird, and people have to be held accountable. And this narrative of the panic room or safe room not being right isn't good. So speaking of the panic room or safe room, it's actually common in Utah to have safe rooms or panic rooms. So I will put on the screen companies I have found that do them. And you know the comment in the video about Fort Knox? There is a company that will put a Fort Knox door. You can have, I'll link websites below. You can have, like, it could be blended into your room to look, you wouldn't even be able to tell that there's a safe room there. And a lot of times they use the Fort Knox door, and then there's also the Liberty Safe company that they also use, right? So it was probably a big door that said Fort Knox, and there was probably also a safe that said Liberty Safe, right? So it was it was there, okay? Alleged, okay? This is my assumption based on the facts of listening to the audio. And why are they trying to spin this false narrative? These people that I just reacted to, commentated on, and then everyone on the Reddit, and a lot of people online are saying that this is false when it is in fact not false. They're also trying to say that the affidavit doesn't say it. Well, the affidavit doesn't say a lot of things. The affidavit doesn't say that they had to take pictures of Russell, and so they didn't take him to the hospital yet. I didn't include that. They put that in their podcast. I didn't include that in any of my audios because that's way too personal, okay? I just said it right now because if you go to their YouTube, you're going to see that. And trigger warning, I guess the trigger warning should have came before, so sorry about that. I don't want to include details like that, okay? So doesn't mean I'm not going to include other details that are a little bit extreme, just like whatever. But it is common to have a panic room, but it depends what their panic room or safe room was used for, okay? And the fact that they locked kids in there potentially because that ABC News Utah video that they spoke to a police officer, a police investigator or someone, he said that there were 2 kids in the safe. So whether they were just hidden there because they knew the cops maybe could be coming, or they were hidden there because that's how they were neglected. We will find out as the investigation proceeds. But something is not right here besides the obvious of what's going on. But the people who are reporting on it, like these people, not good, okay? I'm not saying they themselves aren't good people. I'm saying what they've done in talking about it, just this little tiny part. The other parts, they're good, you know, they're obviously telling the truth on that. Something is amiss here, and I don't like it. So this is the last time I'm going to talk about and defend myself, okay? Yes, this is maybe, you may be judging me and thinking like, why are you even doing this? Because the truth matters, okay? The truth matters. That's why I'm doing this. So, if you like my take, please let me know. If you don't like my take, please let me know. I've been having people call me such terrible things in my comments, but I'm really trying not to take it personally and know that these people are just, in my brain, deranged to make comments like that to a stranger they don't know and to defend people like those in the Reddit who are getting it wrong. Also, I should insert a screenshot if you want to read it for yourself. A guy, I'm assuming it's a guy, it could be a girl, their comment got deleted in the Reddit thread, but they had said they listened to the audios. I'll put it, you'll see it on screen probably right now, but they listened to the audios and they said that the panic room or safe room is in fact at Jody's house. So, and that comment got deleted. So that should show you right there. Why are they deleting it? There is something not good here, and those people need to be held accountable, but they probably won't be, and they'll probably continue being this way. And then if it comes out that there's a panic or safe room, they're going to be like, oh, well, we always knew there was, but we just didn't want to do it for the safety of the children and for the privacy of them, blah, 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 when like you're a freaking liar. So anyways, I'm sorry this video is so long, but it had to be to really show the evidence. And I do want to continue to cover this, and I'm going to try not to make my next video 8 passengers because it's a lot of 8 passengers content, and I'm not meaning to do it, but it's just something comes up, it has to be talked about, right? So thank you so much to anyone who's watched this video. I really appreciate you. I appreciate those who have subscribed, even though this not the point is to get subscriptions. The point is to get views, and views create awareness and bring light to the situation, okay? You need views to get light to the situation, and so that the world knows how terrible family vlogging is and how terrible Ruby and Jody are. And we don't know. Allegedly, it could be Kevin as well. And I hope that you are someone who is trying to be better and better every single day. For me, I'm trying to be a type of person who's 1% better than I was yesterday, today, and then 1% better tomorrow than I was today. So I hope that for you as well. So bye guys.